Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, whichever one makes sense for you. Either way, I'm very happy that you're here. I am editing this video and I realized I didn't shoot an intro, so my bad. But this is the second installment of my physical TBR challenge. Here's the premise of the challenge and then the rules that I have for myself. I have a TBR jar. It has little slips of paper from 1 to 206 because that's how many books on my bookshelf I haven't read yet. And I draw from the TBR jar and I have to finish that book. If it is over 300 pages, then I give myself 2 weeks. If it's under 300 pages, then I give myself a week. And at the end, I have to either keep it or donate it / sell it. So let's go back to when I pulled my second book. All right, it's time to pull from the TBR jar to see what book that I'm reading next. Okay, so number 46 is the second book in this series. So what I'm gonna do is read 45 and just start with there because I don't want to start reading the second book. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I just checked and this book has a little over 300 pages. I told myself that if a book has over 300 pages, I'll give myself 2 weeks. But I just read a book that was 400 pages and I was able to read that within a week and a half. So I love to be able to finish this next week. I want to do a check-in on the reading series. It is October. It is August 9th. And I am on page 207. I'm about 62-ish% done with the book, and there are 320-ish pages in the story. I know that a rule that I told myself, I'm already breaking rules, which is just super annoying. But I told myself that if a book is over 300 pages, then I would give myself 2 weeks to read it. It's definitely been past 2 weeks and I'm still reading it. I'm not gonna lie, this was a very hard story for me to get into. I thought it was fiction, but it's not. It's nonfiction. It's actually a memoir. So once I changed my mindset from it being a memoir, or from it being fiction to memoir, it really helped a lot for me to get into the story. The stories were a little bit slow at the beginning, but then I hit page like 120 and the stories got super interesting. So I am allowing myself until the end of this week to get through it, which would be a little over 2 weeks. 2 weeks was this past Tuesday. Now it's Friday, so I'm allowing myself until Sunday to finish it. I definitely think that I can do that. I'm about to do my hair, but I am going to listen to the chapters. I think listening to an audiobook while you read it is reading the book, okay? It's a way to get through your books quicker, especially if you're like working or something like that. So I'm going to finish reading this last chapter because I'm not finished with this chapter yet on my Kindle. I'm gonna finish it and then I'm going to listen to the audiobook so I can get done with this book faster. I am like a little bit disappointed in myself for not reading this book within the 2 weeks. However, because it was pretty slow at the start, like I would fall asleep while reading it, and I always read before bed, so like that didn't help because then I would just wake up the next day. So I'm gonna try, and next time instead of using my Kindle, I'm going to try and read it physically if it's a book that is pretty slow in the beginning. So I'm going to read this and then listen to a chapter and then read it some more. And then hopefully the next time that you see me, it'll be like the final update about the book and like my final thoughts. So yeah, just wanted to check in. This is the reading setup that I have going on as I'm about to do my hair. Yeah, hopefully it won't be too hard for me to read. So, yep, but I think this is so funny how this works out. Okay everybody, it is August 15th and I finally finished this book. I'll read the back for you and then I'll give my final thoughts. This drew me in because I love weirdly like pregnancy vlogs. I love like women who are like my birth story on YouTube, or are like pack my hospital bag, like that stuff. I live for that. So a couple of thoughts. This book for me, I didn't care about like the characters like that she lived with, like the nuns. I don't really care about that. Like, and this is a memoir, so I totally understand why they were included. But for me, the most interesting part of this book was the birth stories. The one specifically with the prostitute was like very, very enlightening and honestly kind of heartbreaking. For me, like, it took me so long to finish it because of all of the chapters in between the birth stories. They were not interesting to me. So it took me a very, very, very long time to get through each of those because I couldn't really care less about that. I cared about like the experiences of the women who were bringing children into the world. Like, I really loved hearing how in the 1950s how they would deliver a breached baby where the feeder is coming out instead of the head, or what would happen if there is a premature baby. Like, there's a huge story in this book about a woman who gives birth prematurely and that the woman almost dies and her child almost dies. So those are the stories that stuck out to me and that I cared about. So in general, like, I would give this book a 3 because those stories were, I mean, those stories drew me in, but also it took me like 150 pages for me to fully get invested into the story. This book was only 320, so like that's kind of insane that it took almost half of the book for me to become interested. So this is a book that I think I will check out the series for, but I don't know if I will actually keep it. I feel like this is one of those things that I can sell as a set, because I have the second and third book, which I think I am going to read it if there's more stories like that. If the second and third book is more about like the relationships that she has with the nuns, like I probably wouldn't really enjoy them, but I did seriously enjoy like how informative it was back in the 1950s and the start of medicine when it comes to being a midwife. Like, that was super, super interesting. So if this is a book that you're interested in, it is called The Midwife by Jennifer Worth. And there is a TV show and I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix, so I am gonna start watching that. So that is the end of book 2 of my reading series. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for the next installment of this series. I'm gonna go pull the book now and I'm really excited. And then if there are any other videos that you guys would be interested in seeing, please let me know. Again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.